In our last section of the chapter, we're going to talk about exponential and logarithm equations, so we're actually going to be solving equations. So, to start off with, I ask the question, if 3 to the m is equal to 3 to the 4th power, then what could you make? What statement could you make here? It means m is equal to 4. All right, so if we had something like this, if 2 to the 3 halves is equal to 2 to the x minus 1, then what could we say? Well, the bases are the same, and it's an equation, so 3 over 2 has to equal x minus 1. So that would allow us to solve for x. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Add 1 to both sides, and we get x equal, add 2 halves, we get 5 halves. So that allows us to solve this. As long as you have the same base and you have an equation, then these exponents have to be the same, equal to each other. So let's formalize that. You can solve an exponential equation by expressing each side as a power of the same base, like 3, 3, 2, 2. So, if b to the m is equal to b to the n, then what do we know? M is equal to n. Okay, so we're going to use this exponent rule quite a bit. A to the mn, sorry about that, I just gave the answer away. A to the m, in parentheses raised to the n, is a to the mn. I probably should have written it the other direction, and maybe I will. I'll use a b. B to the mn is equal to b to the m raised to the n. Because you multiply these two together and you get mn. Or actually I could have done b to the n raised to the m. These are equal. M times n is the same as n times m. All right, so here we go. Suppose I want this numeric expression, 4 to the 3rd, written as 2 to an exponent. Well, notice that 4 to the 3rd is equal to, how can I write 4 using 2 and an exponent? 2 squared, right? 2 squared, in parentheses, to the 3rd. So these are equal because 2 squared is the same as 4. And we're raising it to the 3rd power. But now, how can I simplify that? I can multiply the 2 times 3 to get 2 to the 6th. So the answer would be 4 cubed can be written as 2 to the 6th power. 2 to the 6th power. Let's do another one. 125 cubed can be written as 5 to what power? Well, let's write this down. 125 to the 3rd is equal to. Maybe on my scratch paper over here, I'll make a note that 5 to what power gives me 125. 5 squared is 25, but if you multiply that by 5 again, you get 125. So 5 cubed is 125. So I can write this like 5 cubed in parentheses, because that's equal to 125, raised to the 3rd power. So finally, what do we get? 5 to the 9th power. So 125 to the 3rd can be written as 5 to what power? The 9th power. Okay, so here's a recipe that uses some of the stuff we just did. Here's the equation we're going to solve. The first thing, and this is probably the toughest part of it, and it's not difficult, is we need to write it as b to the m equals b to the n. In other words, the same base on both sides. So what will we use for the base on both sides? If you said 4, that's not correct, because how would you get 8 from 4? 4 squared is 16. So what we want to do is go all the way down to 2, right? So 8 is equal to 2 cubed. So that's 8 raised to the x plus 2 is equal to, and 4, the base of this exponent term is 2 squared raised to the x minus 3. Okay, so now I'm going to set m equal to n. M and n are the exponents, but before I do that, I need to kind of do some simplifying. I need to multiply those two exponents together, multiply those together as well. So that's going to give me, well, let me write down 3x plus 2 equals 2 times x minus 3. That's what we have to solve, and we'll find out what x is. So we just did m equals n. Because remember, this is 2 raised to the 3 times this. This is 2 raised to the 2 times this. And solve this. So 3x plus 6 is 2x minus 6. Did I distribute right? 3, 6, and then 2 and negative 6. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. X plus 6 equals negative 6. Subtract 6 and we get x equals negative 12. That's the answer to this equation right here. So we solved it, and then we could check. We could plug it in. It's not difficult to do. And maybe I'll go ahead and do it. Let's see if x equals negative 12 works. If x is negative 12, that would be 8 to the negative 10 equal 4 to the negative 12 minus 3, negative 15. Well, let's go back and do what we did. Let's write 2 to the third to the negative 10. Does that equal, I'll put a question mark, 2 squared to the negative 15th? Does that work? Well, just what's the exponent? This is 2 to the negative 30 equals 2 to the negative 30. It works. So the answer to this, the solution to this equation is x equals negative 12. All right, let's do some more. Okay, what's the common base going to be? 5 and 125. Well, we already looked at that one. The common base is going to be 5. So we're going to get 5 raised to the 3x minus 6 is equal to, well, this is just 5 cubed. So all we have to do is set these two things equal to each other and solve for x. So 3x minus 6 equals 3. That means that, this is just an arrow, so I'm going to the right. Let's add 6 to both sides. Add 6 would give us 3x equals 9, and x equals 3. And this is easy to check. Is 125 equal to 5 raised to the 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 to the third equals 125. Yep, it works. All right, let's go to the next one. What's the common base going to be here? Note, you're not going to say 9, because 9 to what power gives you 27? That's not going to work. We want 9 squared, by the way, is 81. So we're going to use a 3 on both sides, right? 27 is 3 cubed. 9 is 3 squared. So that would give us, as we move to the right, 3 cubed in parentheses, that's 27, raised to the x plus 3 power, equals 3 squared in parentheses is 9, raised to the x minus 1. So when we multiply those and those, we simply get 3 times x plus 3 equals 2 times x minus 1. Don't forget to put these in parentheses, the x minus 1 and the x plus 3. All right, so let's see what that gives us. I'm going to come down over to here. 3x plus 9 equals 2x minus 2. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides to get rid of that. Then I'm also going to subtract 9 from both sides. Do this all in one step. So that goes away and that goes away. And this just becomes 3x minus 2x, x equals negative 11. And that's a solution. And last one for this video. Let's see, good thing is we only have to change one side because 2 will be the base. 16 is 2 to the 4th. 2 to the 4th raised to the x minus 1. So that's 16 to the x minus 1 equals 2 to the 3x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply those. I don't have to multiply anything here, but that gives me 4 times x minus 1. X minus 1 is in parentheses. Oops, 3x minus 2. So that would give us 4x minus 4 equals 3x minus 2. Subtracting 3x from both sides gives x minus 4 equals negative 2. All I did is subtract 3x to get rid of it there, and I subtracted 3x here to get x. Add 4 to both sides, and we get x equals 2. All right, that's a simple one to plug in. If x is a 2, what do we get here? 2 minus 1 is 1, so we get 16. If x is 2, we get 2 raised to the. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 2 is 4. 2 to the 4th is indeed 16.